In the dense, sun-soaked streets of Clara town, a slum in Monrovia, Liberia, a young boy named George Taulan Mane Opong Usman Weah grew up kicking a makeshift ball made of rags. It was a world far removed from glitzy stadiums and roaring crowds, yet it was in this unassuming neighborhood that the seeds of greatness were planted. Born on October 1st, 1966, George was the youngest of 13 children in a family living on the fringes of poverty. His father, William T. Weah Sr., worked as a mechanic, and his mother, Anna Kwewi, sold food to make ends meet. Life in Clara town was challenging, but young George found joy in football, the universal language of hope for children across Africa. Even as a child, George had an innate talent for the game. His feet danced on the dirt fields, weaving past defenders as if the ball were an extension of himself. His grandmother, who raised him after his parents separated, often scolded him for neglecting his studies. But George's love for football was unshakable. It was more than a game. It was his escape from the hardships of daily life and, as he would later discover, his ticket to a brighter future. At 15, George joined Young Survivors of Claretown, a local team that provided his first taste of organized football. His talent was evident, and he quickly moved to bigger clubs, including Mighty Barrel and Invincible 11, two of Liberia's most prominent teams. At Mighty Barrel, George's incredible pace, strength, and knack for scoring goals made him a fan favorite. By the time he joined Invincible 11, he had already become a household name in Liberian football. Despite his growing fame, George remained grounded. He understood the weight of expectations from his community and was determined to make his mark on the sport. His performances soon caught the attention of scouts beyond Liberia. In the mid-1980s, George signed for Tonnerre Yaoundé, a top club in Cameroon. It was here that his extraordinary skills began to draw international attention. Among those watching was Claude Leroy, a French coach who saw something special in the young Liberian. Leroy contacted Arsène Wenger, then the manager of AS Monaco, urging him to take a chance on the unknown striker from West Africa. In 1988, George Weah boarded a plane to Europe, leaving behind the familiarity of home for the uncharted waters of professional football. Arsène Wenger's Monaco was the destination, and the transition was anything but easy. George arrived in France speaking little of the language and unfamiliar with the culture. But what he lacked in experience, he made up for with determination. Under Wenger's mentorship, George flourished. He adapted quickly to the rigors of European football, using his raw athleticism and technical ability to make an impact. In his first season, he helped Monaco win the Coupe de France in 1991, showcasing his potential as one of the most dynamic forwards in the game. Wenger would later reflect, "George had everything: speed, power, and an incredible will to succeed. He was a gift to the sport." After 4 impressive seasons with Monaco, George moved to Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, in 1992. It was at PSG that he became a household name across Europe. He led the club to a Ligue 1 title in 1994 and back-to-back Coupe de France victories. His performances in the UEFA Champions League were particularly memorable, as he scored crucial goals against Europe's elite teams, cementing his reputation as a world-class striker. In 1995, George Weah signed with AC Milan, one of the most prestigious clubs in football history. Milan was home to legendary players, but George's arrival marked a new era. He became the heart of the team, blending his physicality, skill, and tactical intelligence to dominate Serie A. That same year, George achieved a milestone that no African player had reached before. He won the Ballon d'Or, awarded to the best footballer in the world. He was also named FIFA World Player of the Year, becoming the first and only African to receive the honor. These accolades were a testament not only to his on-field brilliance, but also to his ability to inspire millions across the globe. One of George's most iconic moments came in 1996 during a Serie A match against Verona. Collecting the ball deep in his own half, he embarked on a mesmerizing solo run, dribbling past nearly the entire opposing team before calmly slotting the ball into the net. It was a goal that showcased everything George represented: power, elegance, and unrelenting determination. Over 5 seasons with AC Milan, George won 2 Serie A titles and scored some of the most memorable goals in the club's history. But his contributions extended beyond football. George's humility and generosity endeared him to fans and teammates alike, making him a true ambassador for the sport. While George Weah's football career flourished, his homeland, Liberia, was engulfed in a brutal civil war. The conflict, which began in 1989, devastated the country, displacing millions and claiming countless lives. Despite the distance, George remained deeply connected to Liberia. He used his platform to raise awareness about the humanitarian crisis and dedicated much of his earnings to rebuilding his homeland. George's commitment to Liberia extended to the national football team, the Lone Stars. He often financed the team out of his own pocket, paying for travel, equipment, and even players' salaries. In the late 1990s, he took on the dual role of player and coach, leading the Lone Stars to 2 African Cup of Nations tournaments. For George, representing Liberia was not just a professional duty, but a personal mission to bring hope to his people. His philanthropy went beyond football. George funded schools, hospitals, and housing projects, striving to provide opportunities for those less fortunate. Despite criticism from some who questioned his financial decisions, George's dedication to his country was unwavering. "I've been blessed by football," he once said. "Now I want to bless others." In 2002, George Weah retired from professional football after stints with Chelsea, Manchester City, and Marseille. Many expected him to settle into a quiet life as a global ambassador for the sport. But George had other plans. He saw the struggles of his people and felt a calling to serve. In 2005, George ran for president of Liberia. Though he lost to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, his campaign inspired a new generation of Liberians. Critics dismissed him as a political novice, but George was undeterred. Determined to strengthen his credentials, he went back to school, earning a degree in business administration from DeVry University in the United States. He later completed a master's degree in public administration, equipping himself with the knowledge and skills to lead. In 2014, George's persistence paid off when he was elected senator for Montserrado County, Liberia's most populous region. During his tenure, he focused on infrastructure development, education, and youth empowerment. His popularity soared, and in 2017, he ran for president again. This time, he won in a landslide, defeating then Vice President Joseph Boakai. On January 22, 2018, George Weah was sworn in as the 25th president of Liberia. George's presidency has been a mixed journey, marked by both progress and controversy. He inherited a country grappling with economic instability, high unemployment, and the lingering effects of the Ebola epidemic. As president, George has focused on improving education, healthcare, and infrastructure, launching initiatives to provide free tuition for university students and building roads to connect remote areas. However, his administration has faced criticism for allegations of corruption and slow progress in addressing systemic issues. Despite the challenges, George remains a symbol of hope for many Liberians, a leader who rose from humble beginnings to the highest office in the land. George Weah's life is a testament to the power of dreams, resilience, and giving back. From the dusty fields of Clara to the grand stadiums of Europe and the presidential palace in Monrovia, his journey is one of extraordinary triumph. He has inspired millions, not just as a footballer, but as a philanthropist, leader, and symbol of what is possible when talent meets determination. In his own words, "I came from nothing, but I believed in myself. If I can do it, so can you." For George Weah, the boy who once played barefoot in the streets of Monrovia, no dream was too big, and his story continues to inspire generations around the world.